Hey everyone, we've been talking about DOGE for quite a bit of time now, Department of Government Efficiency. Well, this is DOGE 1.0 with Milton Friedman explaining what departments from the government he wants to cut and which ones he wants to save. This will help you understand what DOGE is trying to do, although it won't be as drastic as Milton would want.
Just go right down the list quickly and have you give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Keep them or abolish them. Department of Agriculture.
Abolish.
Gone. Department of Commerce.
Abolish.
Gone. Department of Defense.
Keep.
Keep it. Department of Education.
Abolish.
Gone. Energy.
Abolish.
Housing.
Except that energy ties in with the military.
Well, then we shove it.
I mean, so far we've already knocked out a few of the big ones here, and he only really wants to keep the Department of Defense. Let's keep watching.
Under defense.
That's
the little
right.
bit that handles the nuclear,
Right, that ought to go under
plutonium
defense.
and so forth goes under defense, but we abolish the rest of it. Health and Human Services.
There is room for some public health activities to prevent contagion, such a thing as, for example.
So you'd keep the National Institutes of Health, say, and the Center for Disease Control down in
not the
Atlanta?
National Institute.
Oh, no?
No, those are mostly research agencies. No, that's a question of whether the government should be involved in financing research.
And the answer is no.
Well, that's a very complicated issue, and it's not an easy answer with respect to that.
We'll eliminate half of the Department of Health and Human
something
Services?
like that.
Okay, one half.
One half. I actually get what he's saying. The government shouldn't be financing all the research, especially in America right now, because we pay a lot for our pills and medications. However, when it comes to like helping people make sure there's no outbreaks and stuff, like a polio outbreak, stuff like that, he seems to be okay with it, which I kind of like. So far, I'm okay with what he's doing. I don't know if I could consider just like getting rid of everything, but at least, I think we could talk about maybe shrinking some of these government agencies, shrinking them. Anything more than that, I don't know. I don't know what would happen. I feel like the system would probably freak out a little bit.
There we go. Housing and Urban Development?
Out.
Oh, didn't even pause over that one. Department of the Interior?
Oh, well, but housing and urban development has done an enormous amount of harm. My God. If you think of the way in which they've destroyed parts of cities under the rubric of eliminating slums.
Jack Kemp.
You remember, Martin Anderson wrote a book on the federal bulldozer describing the effect of the urban development. There have been many more dwelling units torn down in the name of public housing that have been built.
Jack Kemp has proposed selling to the current inhabitants of public housing their unit, their townhouse, their apartment for $1 a piece, and just shifting the ownership to the people who live in it.
If you got rid of the Department of Housing and Urban Development, it would be worth doing that.
All right, done. That's gone. Department of the Interior, your beloved National Park Service.
Well, given the problem there is, you first have to sell off all the land that the government owns. But that's what you should do.
But it could be done pretty quickly.
It could be done. You should do that. There's no reason for the government to own. The government now owns something like 1/3 of all the land in the country.
And that's too much. Should go down to zero.
Should go down to, well, not entirely zero. They ought to own the land on which government buildings are.
Okay, terrific. Department of Justice.
That one I actually disagree with. Let me know what you guys think about that one. I like the government having federal land. I don't want to see that land be used for corporations and stuff like that. Maybe I have like a Washingtonian bias out here, but I like being able to see the greenery. I like being able to know that, hey, this is a mountain, this is a national forest. You can't just build here. And so that area is going to be pristine for a long time, which means that, the community around it will also be kind of nice for a long time as well. I pretty much adamantly disagree with that one. The government should have federal land, in my opinion, at least.
Justice.
Oh, yes.
Keep that one.
Keep that one.
Labor.
No.
Gone. State.
Keep.
Keep it. Transportation.
Gone.
Gone. The Treasury.
You have to keep it to collect taxes.
All right. Collect taxes through the Treasury. Veterans Affairs.
You can regard the Veteran Affairs as a way of paying essentially salaries for services of those who have been in the armed force. But you ought to be able to get rid of it.
You should be able to pay it off.
Pay it off.
Pay off lump sums, perhaps.
That's right.
And just get rid of it. Okay, Milton Friedman.
That's interesting. So if you're a veteran, there's no VA hospital, but basically you get enough money to cover all of your expenses. So you're basically just trading money for having to deal with the VA, because maybe the VA is maybe a little bit of a slower process. Perhaps you could just go to more of a better hospital, spend the money there instead of having to deal with the VA bureaucracy. I'm not a veteran, so I wouldn't know, but that is an interesting thought.
Friedman, if you are made dictator for one day, the next day the American
dictator for a day. Who said that, I wonder?
government.
No, I don't want to be made dictator.
You wouldn't?
I don't believe in dictators.
Okay.
I believe we want to bring about change by the agreement of the citizens. I don't believe in arbitrary rule.
Let me put it this way then.
If we can't persuade the public that it's desirable to do these things, we have no right to impose them, even if we had the power to do it.
All right. From 14 departments down to four and a half.
Fundamental functions. What are its fundamental functions? Preserve the peace, defend the country.
All right.
Provide a mechanism whereby individuals can adjudicate their disputes. That's the Justice Department. Protect individuals from being coerced by other individuals. The police function.
Right.
And now, this is both the central government and the state and local governments. The police function is primarily local and central.
Right.
And those are the fundamental functions of government, in my opinion.
Milton Friedman?
You know, I feel like I kind of agree with it when it comes to like the federal level, because I don't think the federal really does enough these days to justify how much money we pay them. But I feel like every state is a little bit different now. I feel like states should have, transit, those types of systems, if you will. I really don't believe the states have to get rid of them. I believe even though they are a little bit clunky at the state level, they're nowhere near as horrible as they are in the federal government level. Whether you're talking about the education system, I believe the Washington state education system is managed better than the federal one, right? And so I put a lot more trust in it. Now, is it great? No. But, I'd still want to have it, especially out here. Do I like the fact that we have school choice out here? So I could send my kid, if I had a kid, out to private school versus public school. I like being able to have that choice, or a Catholic school versus a public school. If there's a bad public school over there, but you have an option to take them somewhere else, your kid, son, daughter, if I have the option, I would pay the money to send them somewhere else. I'd rather have my tax dollars going towards that school where I believe my kid is going to have a better future by going there. So let me know what you guys think about this one. There was a lot of stuff cut out, a lot. But I'm sure some of you guys may agree with everything he says. Some of you guys may agree with nothing. But I'm just curious to hear what you guys think about this, because we do know that D.O.G.E, the new D.O.G.E, D.O.G.E 2.0, is going to be going in here to the federal government and finding out where all of that wasteful spending is, and they're going to get it. They're going to try to get it tamped down. I don't believe they're going to get rid of one agency. Basically, maybe the Department of Education is the only thing I've really heard of, but I doubt they're going to do it. And they're just going to try to trim off, a lot of the fat and the excess spending that's been plaguing these agencies for quite a bit of time now. Thanks.